It's finally happened, boys and girls, and microwaves, and elephants, and whatever else you identify as. It's happened. It's happened at long last. One of the days that I'll be pleased to see come. Pause. And that day is the day that Scott McTominay leaves Manchester United Football Club. Now, controversial, guys. Oh no, he's said some forbidden words. And it's not in the sense that I'm pleased to see him leave the club because I hate the guy. No, it's nothing to do with that. You know, we can appreciate Scott McTominay, a very passionate and driven player, right? We can appreciate these things. He bless him, bless his cotton socks. He tried. He tried for the club, right? He was a trier. But I think as fans, we need to remember, fans of Manchester United specifically, we need to remember this. We were once upon a time a club that would win Premier League titles, and some of the most influential players that have played for our club have then been forced to leave or told they can leave, right? And fans would sit there and say, yeah, can't disagree with that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. I can understand where the club's coming from with that. Yeah, can't disagree. Now, now you get a footnote in the club history. No offense to Scott, but he is a footnote. A footnote player who probably will not be remembered in history about 20 years from now. He probably won't. He's like a sort of what Alan Smith. Alan Smith, somebody that will play in the squad that it's just like he played for Manchester United. What? Huh? Some random names, right? Some random names. Not they're not sort of the names that you remember, right? They're not. There's people out there that are genuinely shocked, saddened, angry that we're selling Scott McTominay. Which, there's people out there that as well, the apologists that will sit there and say, I can't believe all the fans that are out there, shitting all over Scott McTominay. Oh, how dare they? They're not real fans. They're not real fans. Whilst they're pressing send on that tweet, right, they're super fast. Just scroll. They're going into the timelines and the history books to try and find as many tweets that they made about Scott McTominay and how they shat on him when he was playing for Manchester United Football Club, and every time he disappointed, and every time that he put in a stinker. Their little fingers go super fast, so fast on their screens, literally, they're going like this. Goes so fast that the screens are cracking, the fingers, the smoke coming off of the friction, and the fingers are sort of, it's like sharpening a pencil. It just gets smaller and smaller. Sanding. It's like a sanding belt machine, and it's just like, yeah. Basically, everyone who is pro Scott McTominay right now, you weren't pro Scott about 3, 4, well, definitely from last season, definitely from before last season. You were definitely not pro Scott back then. I'll tell you what, when he was partnering Fred in midfield, everybody was on his case. Everybody was like, this guy, he's not Manchester United quality. So why is it that when it comes to the point where we say, okay, right, Scott, Napoli will sign you, 25 plus 5, off you go. Scott wanted this, by the way. Scott genuinely wanted this. So if you want somebody to be angry about, be angry at Scott, because he said, nah, I can't get the minutes here. And you know what? That's the sort of attitude. Fair play to him. That's the sort of attitude we should, yeah, we should want that. We want some of these Deadwood players to be thinking, I can't get in the minutes here. I'll challenge my ambition and I'll go find minutes elsewhere. That's what we want. That's what we want. And do you know what? Hats off to you, Scott. Genuinely, hats off to you. You actually, you did. You made a decision which ultimately, for the sake of the bigger picture of Manchester United Football Club, is beneficial. It is beneficial. You thought about your career and the well-being of that same career, of that very career, and thought about Manchester United Football Club, the club you've been at all your life, and you decided, I think it's about the right sort of time that I cut the cord with this, and I actually move on to pastures new. And you know what? We'll send you off, and we'll say, yeah, best of luck to you. Absolutely, best of luck to Scott McTominay at Napoli. You know, get good. You know, the club benefits from it. You know, pure profit sale. PSR will be smiling at us making this sort of sale, and Scott will be. I'm sure he'll be hurting when he's heading over there, but when he's playing football, I don't think he'll care. I don't think he'll care at all. I think he'll be smiling almost immediately. But that's to be fair, that's if he does actually get minutes in Napoli. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But at the end of the day, it's an entertainment sport, and players are commodities, right? They are commodities. So when we speak about these players, we don't speak about them like as personal beings, right? We don't critique them as personal human beings. We critique them as the commodities, as the players, as the assets to a football club, right? It's critique to what they do, not who they are, to what they do, right? And people, for some reason, get that completely muddled up, skewered, blurred lines, you name it, all of it. They just can't hack it when somebody who thinks about the betterment of Manchester United Football Club sees a player that was nowhere near the standard bearer of quality for Manchester United to win a Premier League or a Champions League or prestigious trophies year in, year out with consistency and continuity. Players like Scott McTominay were not the standard bearers. They would not hold that bar up. They were reaching for it and trying to jump to reach it, but they were just not quite it. And that's part of the game. You've got to move those players on and replace them with players that can be it, that can be the one to do it. Manuel Ugarte, player who's now travelling to Manchester tonight, will have to undergo his medical tomorrow, but the deal for PSG is finally done. With a 5-year contract, supposedly with the option for an extra year. So it's a 5+1, with then with a deal worth 50 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons. So essentially, it's more or less what PSG would have wanted, right? But 10 million less, because then the total value is in preference to add-ons, and a sell-on clause as well, which is featured for both deals, by the way. We featured a sell-on clause for McTominay. They featured a sell-on clause for Ugarte. So I think that's the only thing really that we could have done with the Ugarte deal. But I'm just glad that it's sealed, that we've done the deal and the players coming in. I'm just glad. I think it's a bit of a relief that the midfield target is on the way in. Don't think he'll be ready for Liverpool, but one can hope. Of course, one can hope. Um, but yeah, I'd definitely say not ready for Liverpool, but he should be ready after, which I think would actually be the international break after Liverpool, which then means he'll have to be first game back after the break. So yeah, we'll have to see what happens in terms of player readiness and can we trust Ten Hag to actually field players that are ready, genuinely ready, in favour of players that are ready but they're not they're not the future. It's like hold it. It's like the promise that the next woman you're gonna marry, like it's like being able to see the future, right? You can see the future, and the future's bright, the future's great, right? And it's an indictment that if you go forwards, that's the future you'll have. But the problem is that you're too stupid to move forwards. But you keep looking back at the skanky ex that's been nothing but trouble for you and thinking, yeah, let's go one more time. No, no, that's not how we do things. That's not how we can. That's not how Manchester United should be operating under any circumstances. So, oh boy. Now, whether this concludes summer transfer dealings, I don't necessarily know. I think there's talk that the club for some reason see Lindelof as an option to plug in gaps in at the left back position or anywhere across the back four. I don't see that. I think we do need to get an extra signing in um, for like in a full back capacity for the left hand side. Um, Another big piece of information that I think has got a lot of people on edge is the transfer story potentially for a Jadon Sancho Raheem Sterling swap. I don't really. I look at this deal. I'm not excited by it. I'm not excited by it because you don't really get rid of the problems in underperforming wingers. Jadon Sancho, for all the quality he has, just underperforms. He underperforms. He doesn't find the impact he needs to find on a football pitch. Raheem Sterling wouldn't necessarily fix that. He wouldn't change that. If to be honest, if it was up to me, I would swap Sterling for Rashford. I'd send Rashford off to London in place for Sterling. And I know there's a lot of United fans that will say absolutely not. Sterling, no way, Jose. If Sterling would take a bloody pay cut and a significant pay cut at that, and it means that we in turn move, a player that just doesn't perform. If it, for my argument's sake, Marcus Rashford, if Marcus Rashford were to leave to go to Chelsea and Sterling comes the other way, I'd take that. And if Sancho then ends up staying for another year, then yeah, I would take that. I would take that 100%. Or Anthony, send Anthony to London. Just somebody that we definitely know cannot offer us anything. Even on their best day, they can't offer us anything. Marcus Rashford, people say, well, he can score goals if he's playing on his day. He's fantastic. When was the last time it was his day? Season before last. Literally, he's had an entire season and he's going into this season as well to have another one of his days. And it's not happened. How many times? And yeah, it's a problem. It's a crisis. It's a player crisis with Rashford that just deepens and doesn't really stop deepening. Like doesn't stop sinking lower and lower and lower. So yeah, for me, I would move on Rashford if I was given the opportunity to choose. You guys let me know who you would choose. Who would you guys choose to swap if you had to? If it was life or death, you had to swap one of your players for Raheem Sterling. Who would you swap him for? Right? I know there's a lot of people that would say, well, I wouldn't take Sterling in any capacity. Even if he was offered to us for free, we wouldn't take him. And maybe there's truth to that. Maybe there is reasonability behind having that viewpoint. Maybe there is. But let me know what you guys think about these transfer stories. Are you glad that Scott's going? Are you sad? And are you glad to have Ugarte deals finally done, coming in to do a job for Manchester United? And what are your takes on the potential for a Sancho Sterling swap deal? I'm not feeling it. Not really feeling it too hot, but let me know what you guys think. And we'll be back. We'll be back again with the good, the bad, and the ugly. Stream tomorrow at 8:30. So in about tomorrow, 24 hours and 10 minutes from now, we'll be live again. What I say again is this isn't live. This is a video. I think I've taken to the transfer stuff as video updates and streams for more talkative, interactive subjects. But yeah. But let me know what you guys think about all of those subjects in the comment section down below. Don't forget to smash the likes and subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you're new here. Oh, yeah, lads. I don't know why there's a little bit of Scottish and a little bit of Geordie in there. But yeah, it's just war crimes I'm committing at the moment with butchering accents. The fuck is he doing though, lad? Do it for Kloppy, yeah? Do it for fucking Kloppy. Fucking hell. Anyways, I'm out of here before I lose my mind a little too much. Take care, people, and we'll see you again tomorrow.